So now we shall be starting with the next chapter, that is chapter 3 of the company law, which is company meetings. Now what do you mean by meetings? Meetings means a place or a position where every person who is involved in the functioning of the company gets involved and they assemble together for discussing some important issues related to the company. So in this case, there will be general meeting, there can be board meetings, or there can be any other meetings which shall be held with the company, with the board of directors, with the shareholders, with the company secretary, or any other person who is associated with the company and who has interest in the welfare of the company. So now let us try to understand more in detail about company meetings. Introduction. Company meetings. Company meetings and introduction. Being an artificial entity, a company has to function through its directors, and the directors express their will of the company through the resolutions passed by the majority of members at the duly convened meetings. Practically speaking, these members are the real owners of the company. Therefore, these members, shareholders, are more interested in the activities which are taking place in a company. However, it is not practically possible for the shareholders to have a direct involvement in the functioning of the company. Therefore, they have the right to send their representative on the board and also influence the decision-making process in the company up to some extent. This is possible through general meetings. In a general meeting, all the members of the company have the right to participate. There are some other meetings which are required to be conducted in the company for form of organization. A meaning of a meeting. A meeting may be defined as coming together or gathering or assembly of more than two or more persons for transacting any lawful business. Company meetings play a vital role in the administration of the company affairs. In a company, there are instances where members are supposed to come together periodically for the purpose of discussing major issues relating to the company and arrive at a conclusion with the consensus of each other. So, what do you mean by a meeting? Meeting may be defined as coming together or gathering or assembly of more than two or more persons for transacting any lawful business. So, company meetings play a vital role in the administration of the company affairs because company meetings are supposed to be taken periodically, and the every major issues which are related to the company are getting discussed here. Then, the importance of meetings. Company meetings are required to be convened and conducted in accordance with the provisions of the Companies Act and regulations made thereunder. Importance of meetings. The members of a company are expected to collectively act collectively at a meeting of the company and take decisions by way of majority. Even directors of the company will have to act collectively through the board meetings. In other words, the consent of any member obtained privately or individually will not be useful for passing valid resolution. However, in exceptional cases, individual members or directors' consent in writing may be used for holding meeting. Through meetings, various policies, strategies, or programs may be discussed and decisions regarding their implementations may be taken. Moreover, statutory requirements will be fulfilled by such meetings. It has been observed in various decisions of the Supreme Court that it is not practicable for a company to exercise all powers of the company in general meeting, and modern practice is to confer on the directors the right to exercise all the company's powers except those which are required by law or to be exercised in the general meeting. In short, we can say that the meeting is the forum through which board or members take various decisions for better administration of the company. So, the importance of meetings will be that they are expected to act collectively. That is, when they come together, they shall act accordingly. Then, the consent of any member obtained privately or individually will not be useful for the meeting, because meeting means where more than two or more people will be coming together. So, in this case, meeting shall take place in the presence of all the persons associated with the company. Now, next we have kinds of meetings. Company meetings may be classified in the manner shown in the following chart. Company meetings of shareholders, directors, creditors meetings. So in shareholders meeting we have statutory meeting, annual general meeting, extraordinary general meeting, class meeting. Then in directors meeting we have board meeting, meetings of the committees of the board, meetings of the debenture holder, meetings of creditors for the purpose other than winding up, meetings of the creditors for winding up, meeting of the contributors in winding up procedure. So these are the various meetings which shall be taking place. Meetings of shareholders. The different types of meetings of the shareholder are as follows. The statutory meeting, the annual general meeting, the extraordinary general meeting, class meetings. Then we have board meetings, meetings of the committee of the board, meetings of debenture holders, meeting of creditors for the purpose other than winding up, for winding up, and meetings of contributories in winding up. Now let us understand about board meeting, its meaning and different kinds of board meetings which shall be taking place. Board meeting may be defined as a formal meeting of the board of directors of an organization held usually at definite intervals to consider policy issues and major problems presided over by a chairperson of the organization or his or her representative. It must meet the quorum requirements and deliberations must be recorded in minutes. Under the doctrine of collective responsibility, all directors are bound by its resolution. The management of the company is vested in the board of directors and the directors have to act at board meetings. The board of directors will have to function by taking decisions collectively through passing resolutions made in the meetings of the board. In certain exceptional situations as provided by the Act, the resolutions may be passed by the circulation among the directors. A company therefore has to function through its board of directors, and all such acts and functions to be exercised at the board must be in conscience with the Act. Provisions of the articles of the resolutions passed by the company in the general meeting. The above mentioned arrangement ensures that the collective wisdom of the board is available to the company on important decisions, and it further ensures that the decisions are taken after due deliberations and discussions among the directors. Hence, board meetings are very important for running the company. So, board meeting, what do you mean by board meeting? Board meeting means where all the board of directors come together and they collectively take some responsibility and pass some resolutions which are in the favor of the company. So the management of the company is vested in the hands of the board of directors, and the directors have to act as per the board meeting, and board of directors will have to function taking decisions collectively through passing resolutions made in the meeting of the board. In certain exceptional case situations as provided by the Act, the resolutions may be passed by circulation among the directors. A company therefore has to function through its board of directors, and all such acts and functions to be exercised by the board must be in consonance with this Act. The above mentioned arrangement ensures that the collective wisdom of the board is available to the company on important discussions, and it further ensures that the decisions are taken after due deliberations and among the directors. Hence, board meetings are very important for running the company. So as to constitute valid decisions of the board meeting, it is necessary that such meetings must have been convened by proper authority, by proper notice, with proper quorum, and under the chairmanship of the proper person. The Act and the article provide rules and regulations for holding and conducting board meetings. Frequency of board meetings. Every company shall hold the first meeting of the board of directors within 30 days of the date of its incorporation, and thereafter hold minimum 4 meetings of its board of directors every year, in such a manner that not more than 100 or 20 days shall intervene between two consecutive meetings of the board. However, the central government has the power to exempt any class of companies from this provision. The central government may also direct that the provision should be made applicable to certain companies subject to the exceptions, modification or conditions. So, Frequency of the board meetings. The board meeting shall convene. First meeting shall take place within 30 days, and the second board meeting shall start after should be taken after every 4 months. So that is why there will be 4 meetings in the company, and the gap between two meetings shall not be more than 120 days. However, the central government has the power to exempt any class of companies from this provision. Next, we have one-person company, section 173. A one-person company, small company or dormant company shall be deemed to have complied with the provisions of this section if at least one meeting of the board of directors has been conducted in each half of a calendar year, and the gap between the two meetings is not less than 90 days, provided that nothing contained in the subsection and in section 174 shall apply to one-person company in which there is only one director on its board of directors. So this is for one-person company. As we know that one-person company shall not have many directors. Now next we have is virtual meeting. The participation of directors in a meeting of the board may be either in person or through video conferencing or other audio-visual means as may be prescribed, which are capable of recording and recognizing the participation of the directors and of recording and storing the proceedings of such meetings along with the date and time, provided that the central government may by notification specify such matters which shall not be dealt with in a meeting through video conferencing or through other audiovisual means, provided further that where there is quorum in a meeting through physical presence of directors, any other director may participate through video conferencing or other audiovisual means in such a meeting on the any matter specified under the first provision. Notice of meetings. A meeting of the board shall be called by giving not less than 70 days notice in writing to every director at his address registered with the company, and such notice shall be sent by hand delivery or by post or by electronic means, provided that a meeting of the board may be called at a shorter notice to transact urgent basis, subject to the condition that at least one independent director, if any, shall be present at the meeting, provided further that in the case of absence of independent directors from such a meeting of the board, decisions taken at such a meeting shall be circulated to all the directors and shall be final only on ratification thereof by at least one independent director, if any. Failure to give notice. Every officer of the company whose duty is to give notice under this section and who fails to do so shall be liable to a penalty of ₹25,000. It has been held in certain cases that notice sent by fax is sufficient, but notice over telephone call cannot be considered as valid. It has been also suggested by Institute of Company Secretary of India through its Secretarial Standards SS1 that the notice may be sent by email or any electronic mode, but besides, if this is a particular mode of service has been specified by a director, then the notice required to be sent by the mode only. The secretarial standard suggests that the notice must contain the date, time, full address of the venue of the meeting, and meeting may be held at any time on any day, including a public holiday at any place. Though section 173 has not specified the period of notice, a week's notice has been considered as reasonable. Besides this, if article provides for any fixed day of every month, it will be within the purview of the Act. So, notice of the meeting shall be given not less than 7 days prior, and it shall be in writing or it shall be sent by any mode which is specified by the directors or by the company. In case if the notice is not given, then there shall be a penalty of ₹25,000 to the person. The Institute of Company Secretaries had also informed that the notice should be may be sent in electronic form, that is email or electronic mode. But besides this, if any particular mode of service that has been specified by the director, then the notice is required to be sent in that also. Then appropriate authority to convene board meeting. As per regulation 67(2) of table F of schedule 1 of the act, a director or the manager or secretary on the requisition of the director are entitled to summon a meeting of the board. If a secretary has convened any meeting without authority, the directors can ratify the same at the board meeting as per secretarial standard 1. It is necessary to give notice of the reconvened adjourned meetings to those directors who did not attend the meeting which had been adjourned. It is to be noted that suggestions of Secretarial Standard 1 are not mandatory in nature, but they are recommended. So, some sections, some provisions are just recommended by the Act, but they are not compulsory, but company can follow if they feel so. Now, next we have conduct of meeting. Formalities of a valid meeting. A company is a legal establishment consisting of a group of individuals engaged in operating a business. Management of a company requires efforts undertaken by a lot of individuals who discuss and deliberate upon issues before taking a decision. The decisions are generally taken in meetings, which is a formal dialogue between administration of the company. Generally, the directors and in some cases members too, who discuss the affairs and business of the company. Decisions taken at a valid meeting are binding on the members of any organization or a company, as the case may be, whether present at the meeting or not, or whether agree or disagree with the decision. Meetings have to be taken according to the decisions, and the decisions can be imposed on members in case of a wrong or unlawful decision. The decision makers cannot escape the punishment for which they are liable. However, a decision-making member disagreeing with the majority may escape personal liability if he has recorded a note of this. So, formalities for conducting a valid meeting. Firstly, all the individuals who are operating shall do a legal meeting, and they shall be engaged in operating a business. Then shall be taken by individuals who discuss and deliberate upon issues taking decision. Then the decisions are to be generally taken in meetings, which is formal dialogue between the administration and the company. Decisions taken at the meeting are binding and valid for the organization if they are taken into consideration and whether it is agreed or disagreed. Then actions have to be taken in case whatever decisions are to be imposed, and in case if a person finds that the decisions which they were taking were wrong, and if some other person was taking the right decision, in that case he can save himself from his liability. Then decisions taken at a valid meeting are not binding, even though the substantial majority or all the members have agreed with such decisions. For example, even if all the members of the company have ratified an act by the company which is not permitted by the object clause in the memorandum of association of the company, the act cannot be valid. Requisites for a valid meeting. So as to make a meeting valid, it is necessary to see that all the following requisites of a valid meeting are present. A meeting must be properly convened or called, a meeting must be properly constituted, and a meeting shall be properly conducted. That means the date, the time and the place of the meeting and the agenda to be discussed at the meeting must be properly communicated to the concerned persons. Necessary additional information enclosures about AGM must be communicated to the concerned members. The notice of any members meeting of a company must be sent on a paper, a proper address well in advance, stipulated time and prescribed way. The norms of quorum and election of a chairman are required to be followed. The rules and regulations for conducting the meeting are required to be followed. Minutes are also required to be prepared for evidence and further reference. When such formalities are followed, when the meeting will be considered as valid. Agenda of board meeting. There is no provision in law which requires an agenda for the meeting of the directors. However, in section 173, it is mentioned that the notice of the meeting of the board of directors of a company shall be given in writing to every director, and such notice shall be sent by hand delivery or by post or by electronic means. Hence, any business can be transacted at the board meeting. The agenda is nothing but the list of things to be done or a summary of points and questions to be considered at a meeting. It may be written on a loose sheet paper, or there may be a special agenda book. The order in which the items appear in the agenda is generally to the order in which the business is to be taken at the meeting, and general practice is to place the routine business first and then the special business. As mentioned herein above, the laws does not insist or for having any kind of agenda or for a board meeting. But in case of some matters, prior notice is a practical necessity. So, agenda of the board meeting, whatever we have decided to convene in the meeting, it shall be taken into consideration, and then the business shall be transacted accordingly. The meeting shall be taking place. And section 186, loan and investments by company, states the notice of resolution to be passed thereat is required to be given to every director in India. It means that in such cases, it would be obligatory on the company to circulate the agenda along with a copy of the proposed resolutions in the respect of every such item. Besides this, taking into consideration the enormity and importance of the upcoming coming up before the board, if the details of the items of discussion in the board meeting are not circulated in advance, no meaningful discussion can take place in the board meeting, for none of the outside directors will be aware of the matters to be discussed in the board meeting. Hence, good companies are expected to follow the practice of circulating an agenda with the notice or at least 1 week before the meeting of date of meeting, containing business to be transacted with short notes on each item. Most of the times, our good part of the board agenda contains routine items. The agenda also consists important items such as reports on the working of the company, approval of the capital projects, matters calling for major policy decisions, appointment of first auditor, appointment of additional directors. It would be more appropriate to circulate along with the notes on agenda the proposed resolutions to be moved at the meeting and to be passed by the directors. For convenience, the agenda of the board meeting should be grouped and divided. That minimum time and energy of the directors are consumed no less on less important items. Generally, routine items are placed in the beginning, and items which are detailed consideration are taken up thereafter. Even if no specific agenda exists under miscellaneous items, with the permission of the chairman, and any business may be transacted. So, agenda plays a very important role in the resolution. With respect to agenda of the board meeting, Secretarial Standard 1 of ICSI provides as under: the agenda setting out the business to be transacted at the meeting and notes on agenda should be given at least 7 days before the date of the meeting. Each item of the business should be supported by a note setting out the details of the proposal, and where approval by means of a resolution is required, the draft of such resolution shall be set out in the note. The notice, agenda and notes on agenda may be given at shorter periods of time than those respectively stated above if the majority of members of the board or of the committee, as the case may be. The proposal to hold a meeting at a shorter notice should be stated in the notice, and the fact that consent thereto was obtained should be recorded in the minutes. Notice, agenda and notes on agenda should be given to all the directors or to all members of the committee, as the case may be, at the address provided by them, whether in India or abroad, and also be given to the original director even when the notice, agenda and notes on agenda have been given to alternative director. Any supplementary item not originally included in the agenda may be taken up for consideration with the permission of the chairman and with the consent of the majority of the directors present in the meeting. However, no supplementary item which is of significance or is in the nature of unpublished price sensitive information should be taken up by the board without prior written notice. The items of business to be transacted should be arranged in order of items those that are of a routine or general nature or which merely require to be noted by the directors, and those items which require discussions and specific approval. So this was about agenda of the meetings. Now in the next class we shall be starting with the time and place of the board meeting.